Hey, what's happening, y'all? This is Playa Peso. That's right, you heard right. Playa Peso, fresh off the Yucatan trip. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm gonna talk to y'all about some real deal about how the hustlers try to hustle the real players when you go to places like Mexico. And this ain't to diss the whole country. This is just for those individuals that carry their hustle to a whole nother level that ain't even astronomical. It's just out of control and inappropriate. You feel? Now I had to put on my Louis Vuittons for this. Yeah, I said Louis Vuittons. Yeah, these are those joints you pick up at the grocery store or the drugstore in Mexico. And I customized these bad putos. Oops, pardon my Espanol. Put some pesos on the sides of them. That's why they call me Playa Peso. Because they got that permanent eyebrow up like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Feel me, because this is about to be coming just as hard as the Brahma Bull to your ear holes. Pay attention. You might learn something about how to be safe when you're moving abroad in these international streets. What's up, everybody? Joseph R. Wheeler, the third artist, founder, and the president of the ONYXCON Foundation. And as I ride and you ride with me, we're going to do a little talk today about the economics of travel as a follow-up to my Mexico journey for ONYXCON, all right? We went to the Yucatan area, Quintana Roo. If you know what I'm talking about, we're saying you check in at Cancun, you might stay in Cancun. Most people will also visit Playa del Carmen, which I did, stayed there mostly. Also visited Isla Mujeres and Cozumel and wanted to go to Tulum, didn't make it down there. I hear Tulum is getting out of control. I mean, in terms of growth, it's just crazy. And prices, they say it's really, really wild. So in that regard, as this will be about prices and cost and things of that nature, I don't know that it was going to be the move anyway. I don't think it was going to work for this trip anyway. I got to get ready for Tulum. From what I've researched ever since I came back, I did a few more videos on YouTube checking them out. And people are talking, man. I'm telling you, Tulum is supposed to be like, just break your bank. Like, you got to be a baller just to get in. And it didn't used to be that way. It did not used to be that way. And from what I hear, it was more about the eclectic. It was more about the mysticism. It was more about, you know, kind of a hippie vibe down there. You know what I mean? And it just adventure outdoorsy folks like myself could come enjoy it. You know, and all that mixture would make it a really cool place to just chill out, away from the madness of what Cancun can be and, you know, the expense of what Cancun can be, and even Playa in some of its areas, you know what I mean? Because it does have tourist traps. Okay, so I even hear, gotta say this too, I heard they're building a new airport in Tulum. I was like, yo. If the airport is anywhere near the size of the one in Cancun, which is not huge, but it's still a pretty nice size and very nice airport, because I didn't realize how nice it was until I was leaving. When I was coming, I came in and I was like, okay, that's cool, you know, yeah, nice. I mean, it was, you know, mostly clean, and I say mostly because one of the first things I saw when I got off the plane was a cucaracha who was on his back dying, and I was like, wow, I did not want to see that as a welcome. I did not want to see that. But hey, you know, it's just keeping it real. You still in the jungle. The jungle is there. But I didn't see any more. I will say that. Just that one. And my whole trip, I didn't see any more. So that's a good thing. I mean, I saw them on the street, but I'm talking about inside of buildings, places I was going to lay my head or eat. Didn't see none. So that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? That's always a good thing. But I did notice that when you are, you know, coming in or whatever to the airport. So let's start right there. Let's just start with the airport on the hustles. Because this is really all about saving money and avoiding the hustles and the stuff that I went through that I would warn anybody else about. So the first thing that hit me is, I mean, when I say first, when I first got to the airport, and it was early in the morning, the first ADO, which is the ADO bus that everybody should be aware of. If you don't know about the ADO, look up ADO if you're going to Mexico in general, because it runs all over the country, I believe, but especially in the Yucatan, it's going to save you money. Unless you're just that big baller and, you know, you're just going to be riding private with a special driver everywhere you go. Hey, shout out to you. Can we be friends? You know what I'm saying? But for the rest of us who understand we got to save these ducats and do with what little bit we got to make it a wonderful thing no matter what, I was saving a little bit of something every time I was taking ADO, and I was glad to go through the sometimes hassle, but it was still better than the hassle of the taxis. And I did still have to take some taxis. And I'm gonna tell you how taxis can still be beneficial. So here we go. When I first got there, the ADO was not running yet. It was, when I say early, I got in at like 6 a.m. in the morning. It was crazy. My flight was a mess. But anyway, got out there, I'm waiting, and there's a couple of taxi drivers walking around trying to get folk. And as soon as they see us, they walk up. They're so good, they've even done this so long. They try to all act like they're your best friend, and they just they don't attack. Some of them don't attack you immediately. This one guy came to me, he's like, hey, how you doing? You waiting on the bus? Like, he kind of knew. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take the ADO. He's like, you got the taxi? I can get you there. Where you going, man? I said, well, I'm going to Playa. Oh yeah, man, I'll take you to Playa, no problem, brother. It'll be real cheap too, I got you. I said, I'm good. He said, hey, you got your ticket? They all want to get in your business. I don't like that. That's a bad hustle, but I guess some people fall for this mess. It's like, if I've already told you no, and then you start questioning me like, it's almost like parental questioning. You got your ticket? Like, are you being responsible? Do you already have your stuff? It's like, whoa, wait a minute, hold up, player. You talking to a grown ass man? Who you talking to, boy? You better chill, man. Dude, I said I'm good. I just walked off. That pissed me off. I'm like, damn, I hate ugliness when I first get somewhere. It's like, I know I'm going to have some, man. The trip can't be absolutely perfect. But don't let the first fools I run into be right at the airport. So he wasn't having enough sense to leave me alone, because I'm walking around on my phone trying to figure some things out, and I had to go back the other way from where I just came from. For one thing, is the sun was already hot as hell. That sun is the truth there, y'all. This Georgia heat is one thing, but that Mexico heat is 2 or 3 times this. It just double up. If you ever been to Atlanta this time of year, it's 93 degrees as I speak, which feels like 100. There, it's gonna feel, that same temperature would feel like 110. It was for, so in the morning, at that time even, it's already 80 something, but with extra humidity. And so anyway, I'm thirsty, I needed some water, and I'd already walked away from where this little bar thing was. They got this little convenience store bar thing conveniently placed right there for folk dying in the sun waiting on buses. They know you're gonna get, you ain't got no choice. You can't bring stuff other than what you already drank on the plane. So when you come out of customs and stuff, you ain't got nothing to drink. You hungry, you thirsty, you all that. So I said, man, I gotta get some water. So I went over and I got some water. That was expensive as all hell. I think it was just, what's crazy? Here's the thing you gotta remember. This is the bottom line that you're gonna hear me say throughout this whole presentation. When you travel foreign and you're thinking, I wanna go somewhere where my dollar goes a long way, then don't go to Mexico. And don't especially go to anywhere in Mexico that's a tourist area. And Cancun is number 1. If you look at the list of top areas in the world, I forget what number, I think it's number 2 or 3 or something like that. But I remember when I looked at this list, it was like Japan, Mexico, I wanna say it was Thailand or Philippines, one or the other. Where else? It was somewhere in Europe. But these are like the top 5 places Americans go in vacations, period. Okay? So when you think about that, you go there, they don't price nothing. They know how you're thinking. They figured our mind state out. They figured out who's coming, how much money you're gonna generally spend. I even read an article that got it down to a science where it said, the average American is definitely going to spend on a short trip. They was like on a, which is what I had. I had a 5-day trip. It was like, if you go for a weekend, you're bound to spend about $600. I was like, damn, they got me labeled. And I ended up, spending more than that, a little more than that, more than I wanted of that. But that was kind of my goal, is to stretch out about $600 into pesos and make it work by not always being in the most tourist of zones. Because there's heavy show enough tourist zones, there's bordering tourist zones. Like, everything in life is gradients. See, I'm an artist with it. So if you know what a gradient color is, it's like when color fades from one color to the other. You look at the sky, you see that blue sky, and it fades from the darkest down to where it gets closer to the earth, and it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. That's a gradient. So if you're in the show enough zone, everything's expensive. You get a little bit outside of that, not so bad. You get even further outside of that, well, now you're risking your safety because you with the locals, and unless you know somebody, you don't need to be there more than likely. You know what I mean? I find that in some of these areas, like Playa del Carmen, I can't speak for Cancun, but from what I've researched and heard, it can be kind of the same, but not exactly. Cancun's a little more intense. Playa is it was a fishing village, is what it was, which is also very dear to me as an angler to find out that was its history. And it shows. It's got a more laid back culture to the local scene. And the only reason I can gauge that is because of my trips on ADO. You're with mostly locals when you take ADO. But there will be tourists too, because those who are hip know this is the way to go. So, and also depending on what station you're going from. If you're in one that's near a tourist zone, it's going to be a mix. It's going to be tourists, it's going to be locals. And not everybody who's a local is a worker. Some people, they're taking their vacations too. They're from other parts of Mexico taking vacation in the Yucatan. No different than we go from West Coast, East Coast, everywhere in America for vacation. Just at this airport, like I said, I got thirsty. I got that expensive water, and it was the same price as a bottle of water I just bought in Atlanta a day ago. That was $8 over, but $7 or $8 for some damn water. I mean, like a regular small bottle of water. The only difference I would give Mexico is the one I had, let's say the one in Atlanta was 16 fluid ounces. This was 20. But I was still paying $8. So I got a few more ounces of water for the price on the airport water in Mexico. But that's the only, but it's still $8 for some freaking water, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I can buy, when I buy water and I get gallons for $1 where I shop, okay, for spring water, okay? Real quality, not real mountain spring water, it's $1. And that's for a gallon. But when they got you in the airport trap, you paying $7 and $8. Boy, I swear this hustle is so real with this. Got you with no choice. These are our rules. And I don't know when that's gonna change, but at some point, as economies get worse and worse in America, they're gonna have to change that. There's no way people are gonna get, even the rich folk gonna get to, when the rich folk get pissed off at the airport and be like, damn it, I'm not doing it, you know. That's when it's gonna change. The rest of us, no one cares. But until them show enough rich folk, the 1% go up in the airport and say, damn it, I'm not paying this much for some freaking water. Then, yeah, watch it go down a few cents or whatever. It's still going to be crazy. It may go from 7 to 5, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So, yeah. So I got in this situation after waiting with my water and stuff. The dude who had already tried to hustle me came back around to me. I said, here you go again. Bag and stuff, man, I could already have you halfway there. You know, I got you. I said, how much, man? I just want to hear his ridiculousness. This dude had the audacity to say, it'd be like 70. I said, hold on, what did you say? 70 pesos? No, that green. And then he had the nerve to say it like he was trying to be hip and some blacks like, no, that green. I said, oh my gosh, dude, I'm so done with y'all. I was like, dude, man, I'm like, bruh, I'm not spending what I plan to spend for a day here on one ride. Hell no, okay? And I mean hell no. When the ADO will get me there for between 13 and 14 USD. Whatever that is in pesos, I've forgotten. But you know what I'm saying? That's the difference. I'm not paying, I'm on the bus for 14 versus you talking about 70 of my US dollars? You think I'm really gonna pay you that? Like, I couldn't even believe he held his mouth to say that. But it was the confidence in him that annoyed me the most, is to think somebody did this. Like, he got some of these rich folk who are still waiting on water prices to go down to 5, and they paid it. You know, they got hot, they got irritable, and they said, oh, hell with it, I've got the money, you know, and they did it. So now they think every American will get, you know, every now and then I'll get another sucker out here. No, dude, no. I mean, hell no and no. You know, I mean, he would have had a better chance, and even then it still would have been a no, if I had a lady with me and, you know, we kicking it, and, you know, a lady gonna get hot and be irritable, and then you don't want to deal with your woman being cranky and stuff. By the time you get to the hotel, you want to relax with her. So that's another way I know they get people all the time. But I was like, look, man, I'm rolling solo, so I'm not your fit. I'm not the one. It's not me, man. I ain't your lick. It ain't me. Okay. So anyway, I'm not the one. I'm not that guy. So anyway, the buses were comfortable. But you know, it's just another day at the job. I get it. But still, you know, people got questions. I'm not from here. Can I get the decency of my question being answered without attitude? Or maybe never should I even look at it like that, because, like I say, to most of these folks, I think the problem is this. You get the same thing at home in America, right? For underpaid anybody here working these jobs. But when you go on vacation, you just want people to treat you like, hey, man, don't you know I'm on vacation? Like, I'm not an asshole, so don't be an asshole. If I was coming on some, egotistical American garbage and treating you like you the help, I can understand the attitude. But I don't treat people like that. I give you the common decency because I've been in your shoe. I didn't ride a bus, but dude, I used to do Lyft and Uber, and I still do courier work to get by. I'm sitting in traffic right now headed to an order. I'm real as they come. Don't think that everybody from America up in here is trying to pretend to be Rockefeller and treat you, anyway. Was able to get the ride, but what happened is, I remember there was a lady at this little booth that's supposed to check you in for bus tickets. And when I asked her how much, I said, do I have to have pesos? She's like, yes, pesos only. I said, so y'all don't take no card? Because I just got here. I ain't had a chance to exchange my money. I ain't been to no ATM or nothing like that. I didn't want to do it at the airport because I heard don't do it at the airport. The exchange fees are ridiculous on the ATMs at the airport. Go to a bank once you get to your hotel. So that's exactly what I did. But I had to get to the hotel. You know what I mean? I'm hours out. I'm hours away from Playa. I got to do what I got to do. I got this card. What's up? You telling me ain't nobody going to be able to take my card? She's like, nah. And she just next, took the next part. I'm like, what the? So I look around and I notice there's another, this is like a center aisle area, like a median she's on with her little booth. But literally straight across from her, less than 60 feet maybe, is not even that, 30 feet, I don't know. There was another area with these shedded booths that it just opened up with each of the bus systems and different tours and stuff. And everybody's got their little, like I say, it's like a shedded thing. And the guy or lady will be up under there and taking orders. And I see Adeo over there. So I say, well, that's Adeo to us. Man, let me go over here before I, let me hold myself down, man. It's like, hold it down. Get over there. Hey, man, she told me I can't do cash. Do you take only cash? Do you only take cash? He's like, no, we got the machine. He shows the machine. I said, same company, right? He's just like, yes, sir. I said, so why couldn't she just tell me all I can do is take cash, but he can take your card? Why couldn't I get those instructions? I had to just get next, answer my question all snappy and ask for the next person. The bull, the garbage. So anyway, got over there, paid for my ticket, and then everything else went smooth from there. So the other thing that will get on your nerves immediately about the over hustle element is if you're on 5th Street in Playa, which I'll say this, it's not just 5th Street. I experienced the same thing of 5th Street in Playa del Carmen as the shopping areas in Isla Mujeres when you first get off the ferry. They have this whole tourist trap zone, literally right across the street from the station. Just all these little shops and stuff. And then also the same thing in Cozumel. So pretty much anywhere where there's going to be a tourist environment, even at the Chichen Itza, which blew my mind that they had so much of that there. I knew there would be something. I figured there'd be a gift shop. But no, not just what would be the gift shop. It's more like a market in addition to tons of tents and stuff that have designated areas all around surrounding the grounds of the ruins, to the point where even some of the ruin areas, when you're out there doing your thing, trying to get your photos and videos and everything, there's people, yelling at you, trying to get you to come buy some, look at their stuff on their table. And I'll never forget, it was so funny at Chichen Itza. I'm gonna go back to all the other places too. What I'm talking about, like I say, is universal. So don't think I'm skipping around too much. Trust me, it's all relative. I'm at Chichen Itza and I'm looking at this little secluded corner area of some really beautiful row of columns. I forget what the significance of that particular ruin was. I think it was for the rain god. But in the corner, there's like a whole bunch of these vendors and everything. But there was one little lady and her son looked like, and I'll say like an older lady. You could tell it might be her son, nephew, whatever. And they did not say a thing to me. They acknowledged, they could see that I'm right there, but they didn't eye me down. They didn't start barking at me. They didn't start using, they have these little whistles. There's one's supposed to sound like a jaguar. One's supposed to sound like the quetzal bird. And my tour guide, shout out to Jesus, said that thing that you hear them making, that rah, rah, that is not how a jaguar sounds, my friends. He told a story because he's an archaeologist. And he talked about being in the real jungle deep with some friends who are other archaeologists, and they were on an expedition looking for some things, and it started to get nightfall. and they heard a growl go off in the woods. He said it made the ground shake. And my friends took off running, and I looked around and I realized I was alone, and I started running with what equipment I could get. And when I finally caught up with them, I said, hey, why you leave me? They said, hey, we're glad you got here safe. I said, we're glad you got here safe. He said, well, what was that? He said, that was a jaguar. I said, yo, if you ever heard a real jaguar growl and roar, it don't sound like no row. It's way more thunderous. So it was hilarious. Like I said, they had these little whistles they're trying to sell that's supposed to be that sound. And then, so you're hearing this everywhere. And it's a vibe at first because it's funny as all hell, but then it gets annoying because, like I say, people are constantly coming at you with this. Like, hey, my brother from another mother, my son, come on, man, check this out, look at this. Oh, you know you want this, brother. And you're like, no, I don't want this. I just want to see what I came here, what I paid all this money to come see, bro. I just want to see this. I want to make my video and enjoy this moment. Can I absorb this moment? They don't care. They don't care nothing about your moment. They just like, look, you gonna buy something. I'm out here in the sun. I mean, it's this attitude, and I get it, because you out here like, this is do or die. This is how I eat. But that ain't the way to get it. And so what happened was that lady and her son didn't say nothing to me. And after I got my little videos, I turned to them. I had like, I don't know, just some loose change of pesos in my pocket. And I gave them all that change. It could have been about it could have been about $20 worth of pesos or something. I can't even remember how much it was, but it was whatever. And I didn't want the loose change in my pocket anyway. So I said, here. And then she looked at me like, you didn't buy anything. Like, why are you giving me that? I said, thank you for just letting me, do my video in peace. And her son just kind of grinned at her like, that's all right with me. Like, cool, And it's like, yeah, like, why are you, that's not the way. That's just not the way. I understand, like I say, I understand the desire. And I know people are hurting. And this is how they getting it. But that's not the way you gonna get what you think you want to get. That's how you're never gonna make the real money. You might get a few people who just be like, here, shut up, I'll buy it, damn. But that's not how you want to sell. You want the person to be like, yo, I really want to see what you got. I really like what you got. And you're not bugging me. You're giving me a chance to come in here and make a decision without being pestered about it. And that's the way we shop in America, which is what they got to learn. I think all over the world, people got to learn. If that's the way it is culturally there, I get it. But everybody's got to understand what each of us want out of each other. We as Americans travel and we want the experience of other cultures. But we don't want people assuming they know what we want or how we want it and trying to pander to us in a way that doesn't even fit. Like, who told you this is how Americans like to be, you don't like to be yelled at, like, hey, come on here. And you better do it. Now, if you say something funny, okay, cool, that was clever. I might laugh. Don't mean I'm going to buy nothing. You get that on 5th Street all day. Everybody's trying to be a comedian. And some of them are funny. The cutest, funniest thing I heard was this girl and her friends. They were all about 20-something. So, I'm a single dude, so, y'all looking cute to me visually. So that gets my eye. But I still know what time it is, so I ain't really trying to stop and talk to y'all, because y'all just trying to hustle some stuff. But she was like, she said, sir, and she sounded so sincere. She said, please, can I just get your time for just a second? I said, what's up? I said, me and my friends, we just want to show you some stuff for sale that you don't need. All right, yeah, that's pretty good. I still didn't go back. I said, that's good though. That's good. Thank you for a laugh. I appreciate that. And I kept moving, but I did think after that, I'm going to be on 5th Street again. If I see her and recognize her again, I'm going to stop and look. See, now you did something cute. You're cute. You did something cute. It was funny. I remember you. I might actually stop on the way back and check you out. You know what I'm saying? It didn't happen, because when I came back the next time coming through, there was somebody else out there. It wasn't even her, whatever. So I couldn't remember where I was. If it had been her, I would have stopped. So that's how it goes. But like I say, people got to get their hustle down. Like, you studying us, but you studying us all wrong. Don't look at a bunch of movies and TV shows and think that's it. Actually observe us in the flesh when we're there, just like as a traveler I do. I don't go somewhere and assume everybody's going to act a certain way based on some mess I done seen on TV and stuff. I get there and I read the room. I lay in the cut a little bit. I might be walking by, but I'm checking everything. I'm seeing how people move, how much they talk, how much they don't talk, what type of people do talk, what kind of energy they have when they say something, who seems to be in charge, who seems to be the flunkies, who thinks they cool when they not, who trying to be in charge when they ain't really got no power, but they trying to be the boss and all that kind of stuff. And once I figure all that stuff out, oh, it's a wrap, because I can deal with anybody. I know how to talk to you now. I know what you want. I know what you need. Power. Okay, I can give you a sense of that and get what I need from you. Oh, you need to feel like I made my quota today, or my wife is going to throw me out because she's tired of me coming home broke every day. Okay, let's just talk, man. Because guess what? I know that feeling. You know what I mean? I know that feeling. We can discuss this. It ain't got to be harassment, though. You know? We all human. But as soon as you get in that mind state of you're just something, you're not human, you're just this thing I'm trying to manipulate. You're just a thing. You're not a person. You're done. You ain't gonna get me to buy shit. Not me. No. Then there's the art of bargaining. You know, let me work you down on the price. And I haven't had this experience since the 90s when I was in New York. And I used to love that. It would actually become fun. You go in a store on Delancey Street. Really? You go in a store on Delancey Street, or you go in downtown Brooklyn, Albee Square Mall, back in the day then, and I look at some pair of jeans or whatever. The girls that work there come over, they trying to be kind of flirty. Hey, how you doing? You looking at, you need some jeans today? Yeah, I might get a pair. I don't know. Let me see what your price is looking like. Well, those are 30. Oh, okay. All right. Keep it moving. Walk around. Yeah, we got a sale going. You can get 2 for such and such. And I'll be like, yeah, okay. All right. They might say 2 for 50 or something. I said, okay. You act like you don't like nothing. You start heading for the door. Yo, you don't want nothing? Come on back, baby. Come on. Hey, yo. Did I say 25? How about 20? You get out the door. You almost on the street. Yo, how about 15? 15 for 2. 2 for 15. Come back and buy something. You know what I mean? End up with 4 pair of jeans when I went in for 1. Because it's worth it. It checks out. It works out. So that's the kind of stuff that could happen back then. Now, in Mexico, it was a similar kind of vibe. But the only thing about it, though, the major difference is, now, mind you, this was New York in the 90s. Wasn't nothing sweet. Come on now. And this is Mexico. I understand. It's grimy in some places. But this is a tourist area, too. I'm in this zone of, where was that? That was in Isla Mujeres. It blew my mind that this energy was there a little bit. Because I didn't expect, I tell you what, I didn't expect Isla Mujeres or Cozumel to have the type of, a little bit of grit to its hustles, tourist areas. Meaning, you know, I thought these are supposed to be such fancy areas and stuff with Isla, you know. I'm thinking, you know, with Isla and with Cozumel, I'm thinking this is how it would look. Not really. I mean, I'm sure it's got its parts. I will say, I did see some nice resorts on both. I saw some nice ports with yachts and all that stuff. So it wasn't like, you know, I couldn't see the wealth is not there, definite. But I expected it to be the only look with, you know, maybe people who come from more meager situations being in the service jobs working there, but they live maybe back on the mainland. You know, they had to come back over to Cancun and live in the city of Cancun, but they go there every day for work. This is what I'm imagining. No, there's people, I mean, that can be true too, but there's a lot of people who actually live over there, and there's a lot of little township vibes there too, to the point where in those tourist areas, you kind of got this like, it can be kind of tense. Like, it's even more, I would say that was the only place I felt uncomfortable with the folk coming at me about stuff. Because when they would yell at you, unlike 5th Street, they yell at you, and if you don't pay attention, they just yell at the next person. There's so many people passing constantly, they don't even care. This area, until the next ferry comes, the traffic might slow up a little bit. So they're a little bit more hungry. Every single time they yell at somebody, they want a reaction. So you just kind of got to ignore them. Or what I learned to do, because I didn't want to get harassed, is, I just throw up a hand, a peace sign, or nod my head at them or something like that. Like, yo, I hear you. I do acknowledge you. I just ain't interested, and keep moving. And do it with a certain type of affirmation, a firm face, like, but don't get it twisted. You ain't about to harass me, and they understand that, most people. But if you stop, if you show any interest, then the wolves come out. So here's a situation that happened, right? I saw this t-shirt. This was in Isla Mujeres. It was toward the end of the day. I'm trying to leave. I only went back in this area because I wanted to see if I could get one thing. At the time, I wanted this lucha shirt. I kept seeing these folks every now and then with this really cool lucha libre shirt. And I said, I know they must have got that here. I even stopped one guy. I didn't stop him. I just asked him as we were passing each other. I said, hey, man, did you get that here? He was like, no, I don't know Espanol. No English. I said, okay. So I couldn't find the damn shirt. But then I saw this Darth Vader with a Dia de los Muertos vibe to it. It had, the floral patterns and the way they paint the skulls. It was a Vader head. It was pretty dope. And I said, yeah, that's cool. I like that. That's my vibe. And all you could see the way the shirt was folded hanging in the shop. So I couldn't see what type of t-shirt it was exactly. It turned out it was not a regular crew neck t-shirt. It was a tank top. Now, I don't not wear tank tops, but this particular type of tank top, it was a washed out look, kind of like a tie-dye look. And it had this wax type, cracked pattern over the way the Vader was on there. It wasn't silk screen, it was something else. Or if it was silk screen, it was trying to imitate something like tie-dye. But it looked old and ragged. Like, that was the look. And I wasn't feeling that for the price they were talking about. So it was a kid, it was like a teenager. And when I said I might want that, I said, you got it in my size. I said, you gotta, he was in front of his shop. I said, you gotta like maybe, I don't know, either a medium or a large. It's all about how long it is. I said, I'm tall, man. I'm like 6'2", I'm right at 6'2", so I wanted to fit a certain way. He said, oh, no, we got you, man. I know I got it. I just had to, let's go over here. Like, he's talking about some of his other friends, some other, like straight across the street to some other vendor he's cool with. And I noticed as we started walking, some other dude from a whole nother shop starts walking with us. I said, man, like everybody trying to get in on this sale. Like we all like one conglomerate of 3 different shops in there. I said, that just don't feel right. So as soon as I get to the door, the other say, yeah, come on in, man. Let me show you. We got a lot of stuff in here. Cause I didn't want to step inside. You can see most of, they do have these inside areas, but it's so tight. It's a lot of stuff. I don't want to bump nothing. I don't want to break nothing. I want to have no excuse for them to try and put something on me and say, you got to buy something. So I'm just like, and plus I had my bag on my back. It was a big bag. I was like, oh gosh. I said, okay. So I just stood in the doorway. I noticed the dude who was walking with us, he's standing right outside the door at the stairs, like kind of blocking the way to leave. I said, no, that don't feel right. And then there's a dude on the inside when we get inside, an older guy, like, okay, the kid is who led me over there. Like I said, he was like a teenager. The guy on the outside, he looked maybe in his late 20s, 30s. A rough life will make somebody young look older, but the dude there was a dude on the inside sitting at the table. He looked about my age, in his 40s. And he was sitting down eating at this little table right at the entrance. So I'm standing behind his back, and he's sitting, beneath me at the table eating. And he greeted a little, kind of a sly look when I came in, like, hey, all right, customer. And I said, hey, how you doing? And I said, so you said you got the large? He said, yeah. He's looking, he's getting frustrated. The kid is realizing he ain't got the size, but he's trying to show me how the shirt folds out. Now I can see it's a tank top, not a crew neck. I was like, oh gosh, it's getting worse. That ain't the look I want. Look like they've been ran over and torn up and stuff, distressed. It had that look, but it's a t-shirt. Like I think it was purposefully coming loose on the seams and stuff. I was like, I don't like that. That ain't, no. I'll wear a t-shirt till it look like that and it be my damage to it, but I don't want to buy it jacked up. I want to jack it up. I was like, I'm not feeling that, bro. I said, how much again? He said the price. I'm doing it in calculation. I said, no, hell no. It was like, he was trying to get like $40, $50 for this t-shirt. I'm like, bro, I'm not paying $40, $50. I don't pay $40, $50 for t-shirts in America. I said, bro, that's just too much, man. I said, hey, I appreciate your hustle. And I gave him a fist bump, but now he's like looking kind of annoyed to give me a fist bump. Like, man, you took me all the way over here and you ain't gonna burn nothing. Had that look like, the sourpuss teenager look. And then the dude at the table is sitting there eating his food all slow and grimy. I said, oh, this is some bull. Y'all think y'all gonna get me? Let me say, all I can say is in that moment, I felt like Denzel in The Equalizer, because I had already sized out the dude outside. There was another dude who came behind him trying to see how this sale gonna go. I'm like, it's too many mofos interested in this one t-shirt sale from me. If y'all think y'all about to get me in the back room and beat me down, homie, everything in this... The following words had to be cut for censorship. The views and opinions expressed, even on mute, by Joseph R. Wheeler III do not necessarily reflect those of ONYXCON's affiliates, associates, sponsors, and anyone who might in the future support ONYXCON. Just know that we are about self-preservation, and Mr. Wheeler had a right to speak his mind on this matter. But for the record, he got out safely and no one was harmed. Already headed for the door, and I looked at homie, because I had my shades on, kind of like, dude, you gonna get so I can get up out this? And he understood that look. He got my way. And then I get outside and I hear him behind the kid behind me saying, hey, well, how much is what you want to spend? I said, bro, I'll just be real with you. In America, a t-shirt ain't gonna never be over $30 for the average person. You match that in pesos, you might be able to sell a shirt. I'm just being real with you. And I kept stepping hard as I could. And nobody followed me up either. But I was like, that was a bad vibe. Very, very bad vibe. I didn't like that at all. You know, because I'm by myself and they underestimated me. They thought I was going to be the one or something. I don't know what they thought, but I tell y'all what, I do believe in self-preservation at all costs, especially when traveling. And I'm never going to advise anybody to do anything violent. But I will say this, if you find yourself in a situation like that, you got to self-preserve. And like I say, I ain't no badass. I'm not no martial artist. Well, I do know some things anyway.
Accidental overdose of gamma radiation alters his body chemistry.
Let's just say this. It would have been a lot of broken merchandise, and they would have been hurting even more for all the stuff that would have been broke off in there. The thing I learned is when they started doing all that, you know, let me get you over to the next shop. Like, look, if it ain't here, I'm not walking with you. And I want to say this for fellas and ladies. Don't follow to another shop. Be like, you ain't got it here, homie? That's all right. I'm good. That's it. Don't mean none of that. Let me take you over to my friend's shop. Like, they going to get violent. And it's like, dude, do you really think somebody come from in America, which I ain't even from no gutter hood, you really think I'm going out in Mexico? Man, I will never. The universe is with me. The universe is with me. The universe is with me. Yeah, y'all, I would say, you know, and this goes for just pretty much travel in general. Always be careful. And when you get in environments where people are aggressive and trying to sell you something, just remember that, you know, these folks can be a number of ways, but I've assessed it to be some people can be funny and savvy, and those are generally, you know, everybody's got different sides, but generally those are the people who are harmless. They're not trying to take you to some back room and jump you and steal your money or something, bop you over the head and kidnap you and hold you for ransom over a t-shirt or something or whatever, because they think everybody in America got money or something silly. But there are those people, and I realized that. I always knew. I don't go anywhere on this earth and not know the potential of humanity's levels of evil. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to say, because of being in America, you know, being from America, I always tell people, man, as crazy as this world is, America's one of the most violent places on the planet. And we all know the statistics about, you know, the most people in prison and the most folk with guns and all this stuff. And then all this poor mental health situation. You know, stuff pops off. Those of us who've lived enough life like I have, you've either seen stuff or had to flee from stuff or heard about stuff, but you know what can go on and what can happen. And you've been in tight situations before. So being abroad, I always say it's just a different flavor of the same nonsense. You know, a thug is a thug anywhere. A hustler is a hustler anywhere. A street energy is street energy anywhere. You know what I mean? You just learn how people move and you start feeling the situation out to know, okay, let me not let my guard down completely because I'm on vacation. And it's sad that you can't ever feel relaxed, that you always got to keep this okay, what's up? On you, you know what I mean? And I don't mind that in the sense that I'm a nature man. I'm an outdoorsman. So if I'm around other animals, the real true, when I'm in the rest of nature, I feel honored by the type of possibility of danger in that. Not because I want danger. I'm saying I respect it differently. You know, this is why I can kiss a barracuda and catch and release it. You know what I mean? Because I understand if I lose my grip on this gill plate, that's my face. Straight up. Like, it ain't no question of what this thing might do and when it will do it. If I'm taking pictures of a spiny tail iguana, this is the fastest lizard on the planet. It could turn and do whatever it wants, but by its nature, it don't really want to come at me. That ain't to say there ain't one out of millions that would be the weirdo and do this because they've been around humans long enough, or they're starting to eat trash and they're getting chemicals in their body that they wouldn't normally eat, and they're getting a little crazy, like an animal with rabies or something. So I think the possibilities are always there. But when you're dealing with human beings, man, I don't put nothing past another damn person.